Well, welcome. We're so glad you're here tonight. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. This is going to be a special concert tonight with Pat Terry. Pat was one of the pioneers of Jesus music back in the 70s. He's recorded 12 albums, 7, I believe, with the Pat Terry Group and 5 solo. And he's written songs for many country artists, some #1 hits. And so we're just honored to have him with us tonight. So if you would, give an Argyle welcome to Pat Terry.
Thank you very much. For those of you who came in while I was out back trying to get my little record thing set up, I apologize. I was just like busy and I couldn't stop. So anyway, we'll visit after the concert. I hope I'll see you guys then. And we'll visit now. Everybody comes into this world reaching for some clear blue sky, but nobody knows how hard it is to fly. All of us hoping we can spread our wings and gravity won't apply. But then we find out how hard it is to fly. Jump when you think you're ready. Careful you don't look down. Some of us soar and some of us hit the ground. But thank God for the dreamers who always get up again and try. Dreamers don't care how hard it is to fly. That was almost a solo. Jump when you think you're ready. Careful you don't look down. Maybe you'll soar and maybe you'll hit the ground. Just maybe. But nobody touches heaven without taking a chance sometimes. And if you still want to find your wings, just step right up and dare to dream. Dreamers don't care how hard it is to fly. Dreamers don't care how hard it is to fly. Got a picture of my mama I like to keep around. So beautiful and fair. No more than 17, she looks like a starlet on the movie screen. Prettiest wave in her hair. You can see it in her eyes. There's nothing but blue skies on her horizon, innocence to spare. No fears, not yet, no tears or regrets, just dreams as big as they come. So brave, so free, her world on a string. Oh, for a heart so young. Oh, yeah. working up my courage to change some things around, get my life on track. Climb out of this rut I'm in, shed another layer of worn out skin. It's hard, and that's a fact. Back when I was 21, the changes were fun and we were crazy. Sure does take me back. No fear, not yet. No tears or regrets. Just dreams as big as they come. So brave, so free. Our world on a string. Oh, for a heart so young. Sometimes voices, doubts inside my mind tell me, man, you're past your prime. But the devil is a liar and there's no future in me listening to him and giving up or giving in. So I'm gonna reach a little higher. No fear, not yet. No tears or regrets. Just dreams as big as they come. So brave, so free. This world on a string. Oh, for a heart so young. Brave and free, like I've always longed to be. Oh, for a heart so young. Thank you. Only an old guy can play that. You know what? I left my capo back in the room. I'll share a story. Are you going to get that from me? God bless you. I don't know where I put it, but you'll find it. It's laying around in there somewhere. I really have had quite the trip, quite frankly. I packed all my stuff up yesterday in Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, I live in Smyrna, Georgia, just a little north of Atlanta. There you go. One of my Smyrna friends here. I packed all my stuff up, got it in the car, guitars, music stands, all kind of stuff. Got in the car, took off. An hour and a half later, my wife calls. A big hand. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Anyway, my wife calls like an hour and a half later. I'm going down the road. She says, "Where are you?" I said, "Well, I just kind of passed through Macon, and I'm still on 75, heading south." "You forgot your clothes." I went, "What?" She said, "You forgot your clothes. You packed everything, and your clothes were hanging right there at the closet, and you didn't get them." I went, "Oh, great." So these jeans are kind of what you get. And I went to your mall and bought this shirt yesterday. Pretty cool, huh? Snazzy. I assure you, all that is not because of my age. That's just who I am. I do that kind of stuff all the time. But I am 71 years old and might make a difference. I don't know. One of these days, you'll look outside your garden walls and find find your brothers and sisters in a harder world than yours. Don't clutch your cross and act like you're appalled, 'cause the wind blows both ways. 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 Some of us sail on a sea of glass. Some of us fight the waves. The wind blows both ways. The wind blows both ways. You live in comfort, I live in pain. You think I need some of your wisdom. Truth is that both of us can get caught out in the rain, 'cause the wind blows both ways. 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 Some of us sail on a sea of glass. Some of us fight the waves. The wind blows both ways. The wind blows both ways. I ain't saying you gotta see things my way. I ain't saying I'm giving up on sunshine and better days. I ain't saying you can't be happy and live your life. I'm just saying you can't look down on your neighbor's strife, 'cause the wind blows both ways. The wind blows both ways. The wind blows both ways. Some of us sail on a sea of glass. Some of us fight the waves. The wind blows both ways. 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 Fooled you, didn't I? Nah, there you go. I should have known better than to do that. I'm sorry. Well, who needs a little mercy tonight? I think if we admit it, all of us do, don't we? When I was a kid, I worked every summer at my dad's store. He ran a little produce market in Marietta, Georgia. And we kind of affectionately called it the fruit stand. You know, I was I'm going up the fruit stand. But it wasn't really a fruit stand. It actually had walls and a ceiling. You know, it was just a produce market. And in the back, there was if you went through a door into the back of the little building there was a cafe. And every day at lunch, people from all over the community would pile in that place. I mean, they would pack it out to eat a plate lunch. You know, homemade southern vegetables. And we were near a hospital, so you'd see doctors and nurses and surgeons all sitting around, and truck drivers and guys that pumped gas and postal workers. And people who just got hungry and came anyway, regardless of their job or not, you know. It really was kind of a fascinating place to be. And I don't think I appreciated it a whole lot when I was young, because to me, summer was when I was supposed to be out swimming with my friends and just having a big time. Dad always insisted that I work for the family business every summer. So at the time, I kind of grumbled a little about it, but I saw so much life there, you know. And years later, when I started writing songs, I really realized how much of life I took in those years. And a lot of that found its way back into the songs that I was writing. And this is one of those songs. It's a story about a guy who has recognized his need for mercy in his life. This is called The Gift of Mercy. I don't know why I stole the money. Just seemed like a good idea at the time. The place I worked for didn't need it. At least that's how I worked it out in my mind. I grabbed the bag beneath the counter, crossed the railroad tracks and fled. I should have called the sheriff, but they just called you instead. It was a gift of mercy, like nothing I deserved. If I ever get to heaven, it'll be mercy, not justice, that's served. Sometimes I wonder how you stand me, with all my treachery and doubt. I've broken windows just for meanness, broken hearts for an easy way out. I pawned your locket to pay a phone bill, swore to you I'd get it back. That was a year ago, December, and you still ain't said nothing about that. Oh, the gift of mercy is more than I deserve. And if I ever get to heaven, it'll be mercy, not justice, that's served. Love is like a candle blazing in the wind. It don't give in. You've been burning for me so long, don't think I haven't noticed how hard it's been. So if you're thinking of leaving, I wouldn't blame you in the least. There ain't no rules you have to follow, no shining star up in the east. But if you still believe in miracles, I'm trying to turn my life around. Don't give up on me, darling. Lost sinners still can be found. Oh, the gift of mercy. It ain't nothing I deserve. But if I'm still holding you tomorrow, it'll be mercy, not justice that's served. And if you're still loving me tomorrow, it'll be mercy, not justice that's served. Well, a lot of my songwriting friends will tell you that there's no such thing as a writer's block. That ain't true. I know, because I've had them. Well, I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on how do you describe it, because it's not that I completely quit writing when I'm blocked. It's just that I write badly. And I guess that's the real definition of a writer's block. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sitting there with a pen in my hand, but that don't mean nothing, you know. A few years ago, I had kind of been going through one of those periods, and my wife will tell you that when I'm not writing, I can kind of get kind of crabby. And this had been going on for 2 weeks. And I walked through the kitchen one day, and my wife, Pamela, was in there ironing. And rather than walking in and saying, "Hey, hon, how's it going?" I walked in and said something like, "Man, I can't believe it. I hadn't written a song in 3 weeks. I'm just miserable. She put her iron down. She looked me square in the eye. And then using her foot, and I know that she did this for dramatic effect, she put it on a kitchen chair and just pushed it over to me. She says, "Look, I've been listening to you whining for the last 2 weeks. I want you to take that chair and take your guitar and go out in the backyard and put the chair somewhere where you've never written a song before and sit down and write it, and don't come back in until you bring that song." I thought to myself, but I'm getting hungry, you know? Well, my wife is a great motivator. And she really knew what I needed to do and what I needed to hear. So I went out in the back, and there was this huge poplar tree out there. I'm sad to say that tree's no longer in the backyard. It finally just got old and died, and we had to move it. And that was a heartbreaking day for me, because this was my tree. I sat down at the base of that tree. It was June. All the leaves were on it. It was just beautiful sitting there, and I just started doing this. And every once in a while I'd look up, thinking surely some inspiration's going to come out of that tree. I'm glad to say that this song just fell right out of that tree. Back in my hometown, everything's green. Green grass, green leaves, green peaches on the trees in spring, green jello and green beans, and the kids don't know a thing. They're green. In this dirty old city, everything's gray. Gray ceilings, gray walls, gray traffic that barely crawls. Gray nights, gray days, and everybody feels that way. Gray. But every night I have the same sweet dream. I'm nowhere gray. I'm someplace green. Coming here, baby, was a big mistake. It's too crowded, too cold, too far from you and home. It's too hard and it's too mean. Nobody here believes in me. But I close my eyes and it almost seems I'm right there beside you, someplace green. I feel the warm September sun. Hand in hand we start to run down streets with names I recognize. There's so much laughter in your eyes. We lay down to catch our breath, and I can smell the new mowed grass. There's your perfume in the air. God, I wish that I was there. They say up in heaven everything's gold. Gold stars, gold crowns, gold streets you can walk right down. And golden harps make golden sounds for every poor lost soul that's found. But down here tonight, heaven for me ain't nowhere to go. It's someplace green. I close my eyes and it almost seems I'm standing right beside you, someplace green. Oak Ridge Boys recorded that song, by the way, which I thought was kind of amazing because they're like a gospel quartet. You know, it's like four of those guys, and they all sing at the same time all the time. And I thought, you know, that song seems weird. The publisher I was working with in Nashville said they were going to pitch this song to the Oak Ridge Boys. I went, they're not going to go for that. That's like a folk song. Well, they did it, and it sounded great. So anyway, thank you, Oak Ridge Boys. That was cool. Well, do you guys remember the first time that God got your attention? I kind of do. I think it's different for everybody. Not everybody that comes to Christ comes to him the same way. We all have our different stories. But in my case, the first time God got my attention, I was at a place called Ridgecrest in western North Carolina. Ridgecrest was a conference center that was owned by the Baptist Church, and I grew up, in the Baptist Church. And I was in the RAs, and I don't know if you guys know what the RAs were, but the RA stands for Royal Ambassadors. So I was a Royal Ambassador, and basically what that was is it was Cub Scouts for Baptist boys, So we did all the fun things that you do when you're an RA. I mean, we did leather work. We made belts and wallets and gave them to our parents for Christmas. And we went around the community and picked up trash. And then the mayor made us stand up at the council meeting and bragged on us for being good citizens. And, it was all of those kind of things, And I actually liked it a lot. When I was a kid, I wasn't real crazy about church because I didn't like sitting still very much. But RAs was fun, man. You could hammer away on a piece of leather, and next thing you know, you got something. So anyway, long story short, I was at Ridgecrest. And there are mountains in western North Carolina, and right behind the conference center where we were staying, there was a big mountain, and our leaders told us that we were going to do a night hike. And everybody had to have a partner for the night hike. And they assigned us 2 guys, per partnership. My partner was the pastor's son. And I figured that was okay. His family was a lot more religious than mine. I figured it's probably a good idea to have somebody, if you're walking in the dark out in the wilderness, have somebody that really knows how to pray. So they kind of spread us out. So it really felt like you were just you and your buddy walking along. I mean, you didn't see the people in front of you. You didn't see the people behind you. You just kind of snaked up the mountain. And we got about halfway up there, and we looked up, and the sky was really incredible. It was so dark, and there were so many stars. And we just sat down in the middle of the trail and kind of leaned back on our elbows and looked up for a while. And my little friend, who always said the right thing, said, "Man, can you imagine a God so big that all he had to do was speak a word and all that came into being?" And to be honest, I couldn't imagine a God that big. And I had never really thought about it. And I think for the first time, God tapped me on the shoulder a little bit. I mean, I looked up and I started thinking, man, the God that they keep talking about at church is that kind of God. He's that big. He's that powerful. That kind of was a seed that was planted in my heart, and I think it grew over the years. So I'm very grateful for the RAs. They set me on a path. And this song was inspired by my trip up that mountain. Lying on my back beneath a diamond-studded Carolina sky, only 12 years old, but I was already wondering why. Why are we here? Does anybody care? Is God really watching us from way up there? All I could see was that big old sky full of stars. I was a Baptist kid, me and all my Baptist friends. We walked down in the water, went under and came up again. Some found their calling through a laying on of hands. calling down fire from that big old sky full of stars. Oh, 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 funny how things can change. There was so much I was so sure about. Now there's so much I can't explain. Someone hold the ladder, I'm on the outside looking in. Staring through the stained glass and wondering where it's all gonna end. Praying God to help us, pulling on his sleeve, asking if there's something a man can still believe. He said, just look up, sonny, at that big old sky full of stars. Just gaze up into that big old sky full of stars. Yeah, it's all there, mister, that big old sky full of stars. Well, I eventually trusted Christ in 1970, right about the time I graduated from high school. And I did not have one of those dramatic testimonies where God pulled me up out of a life of degradation, drug addiction, and all those kind of things that you always hear these dramatic testimonies. I mean, I was just a little suburban kid who went to church and never quite understood it all. And then one night, somebody at a youth revival explained to me that Jesus loved me, and that he had given his life for me. And if I would just put my faith in him, he'd come into my life, change my life. And he went into greater detail than that, but that was the basic thing. And sure enough, I went down in front that night, and I prayed a prayer that was the only thing I knew to pray. I just said, Lord, I believe in you. I believe that you sent your son so that I could be forgiven of my sins. And I want you to come into my life. Forgive me. Make me whoever you want me to be. You have my whole life. And it was an emotional moment for me. But the invitation time kind of came and went, and I just went home. But I felt like a different person. And not everybody experiences that right away. Everybody has their own experience when they accept Christ. But mine, something had changed inside of me. I didn't quite understand what it was, but I knew that I was not the same person that went to that meeting that night. And I laid in bed, and I remember laying there just looking up and thinking, man, I don't know what's happened, but I feel the happiest I've ever felt in my life. It's really something. It was just really something. It's emotional to me now, just thinking about it. What a great night. I started getting serious about writing songs. I had written a few songs before that, but I got serious about writing songs after that. Because I think for the first time I felt like, man, I got something to say, man. I got something I want to tell people about. And so I started writing songs, and my church let me play at their little coffee house they had on Friday nights. And I started playing all around the area like that. And man, I was writing 2 or 3 songs a week. I was just excited. So I kept doing that, and eventually a couple of guys got together with me, Randy Bugg and Sonny Lawlerstedt, and we formed what was called the Pat Terry Group. And really the only reason we called it the Pat Terry Group is because I had already been playing around the county for a while. And people kind of had started hearing my name. And they said, and Sonny and Randy said, well, let's just call it the Pat Terry Group because people kind of already know that you're out here making music. And we don't really need a group name, do we? And I said, well, okay, Pat Terry Group, that's what it is. So we were a true trio. Just had my name attached to it because I was writing songs. But we were fortunate that we got a record deal with a label that had just recently started up, and they were doing something that they were calling Jesus music. It was contemporary music for kids and high schoolers, you know. And we recorded an album and songs like this. I can't wait to see Jesus in his glory as he bursts from the sky. I can't wait to be held in his arms and see the glimmer in his eye. Tell me how it's gonna be. Read it from the Bible again. I can't wait to see Jesus, 'cause Jesus is coming again. I can't wait to hear trumpets, 'cause I know what they mean when they sound. I can't wait to cast off my burdens, feel my feet leave the ground. Tell me how it's gonna be. Read it from the Bible again. I can't wait to see Jesus, 'cause Jesus is coming again. I can't wait to see heaven and to walk those streets of gold. I can't wait to check into my mansion and get my sleeping bag unrolled. Tell me how it's gonna be. Read it from the Bible again. I can't wait to see Jesus, 'cause Jesus is coming again. Jesus is coming again. Jesus is coming again. We used to play that song at churches, and it never failed. About every third church we played at, when we'd finish the concert, somebody would back me into a corner. And this is, I don't mean anything bad about deacons, but it was almost always the head deacon, you know. And he'd say, son, I enjoyed that music tonight. I do appreciate that. I appreciate you boys sharing your testimony. But there's not going to be any sleeping bags in heaven. I kind of thought to myself, well, how do you know? You haven't been there yet, you know. Could be. Didn't stop us from singing that song. And I don't claim that there are sleeping bags in heaven, but could be. I used to go up to my church in the middle of the day when I wasn't in school, because now I had started college. I would come home on weekends. But I would go up to the church when nobody was there, and I'd take my guitar, and I would just sit down on the front pew and just play guitar and sing, because I just liked the way it sounded in the room, you know. And this song was written in there. It's been a while since I've played it, so cut me some slack. stopped its playing. Everyone's gone home, but I'm here, wishing that some way we could meet. Preacher stopped his preaching, but somehow it goes on in my heart. Somehow I feel so incomplete. You and me, all alone in your house. Don't know how to say it. I guess that I'll just play it by ear. Meet me here. The pews are now so empty, but still you seem so near. And I cry, hoping that some way I might know you. Choir stopped its singing, but somehow I still hear. And these tears are blinding the eyes that need you. You and me, all alone in your house. Don't know how to say it. I guess that I just play it by ear. Meet me here. Don't know how to say it. I guess that I just play it by ear. Meet me here. Some of the songs that our group was singing were, I guess, what today you'd call worship songs. We just called them Christian songs, I guess. Some of them were prayers, and that's what this one is. I got a struggle that's going on inside of me. Part of me stubborn, part of me wants to be free. You got the power to do what you need to do to me, for you. Sometimes I feel that I'm sitting on top of it all, just when I think I'm arriving, I stumble and fall. You got the patience to do what you need to do to me, for you. Sorry. Oh, how it grieves you to see me when I'm feeling sorry for myself. And I'm nothing more than a mirror of worldly woe. I'm fighting battles you told me you'd already run. And I'm running races you told me you'd already run. You got the power to do what you need to do to me, for you. I got a longing to be in your wonderful will. Part of me's humble, part of me's unfulfilled. You got the wisdom to do what you need to do to me, for you. You got the power to do what you need to do to me, for you. It's been a while, I'm sorry. Well, let's see. Pastor Rick told me that he and Donna had this next song sung at their wedding. So I thought I would do this for them tonight. Where's Donna? There you are. So if I start this and you don't recognize it, Rick was making this up. I don't think that. With this ring I thee wed, and I give to you my life. Mine is yours, and yours is mine, and we can live that way forever. With this kiss we will see that we're now man and wife, 2 in 1, 1 and 2. That's the way it's got to be. With this love we can live, but we can't keep it to ourselves. He is mine, he is yours. We can spend our lives and tell him, I give my heart, I give my soul, I give you all my worldly goods. 2 in 1, 1 and 2. That's the way it's got to be. I will cling to you, and you will cling to me, and in the shadow we'll live on bended knee. With this prayer I commit that we both become as one. He in us and we in him, saying vows to one another. Hold them fast in your heart till the day we see the sun. 2 in 1, 1 and 2. That's the way it's got to be. 2 in 1, 1 and 2. That's the way it's got to be. 2 in 1, 1 and 2. That's the way it's got to be. Way it's gotta be. Oh yes, that's the old songs, man. I'm digging way back. So I apologize if I flub a note here and there. Well, you guys got your trampoline set up for summer yet? You do have a trampoline, don't you? Who's got a trampoline sitting in your front yard? Backyard, right? Okay. Well, this is a song that was inspired by a house that my wife drove by one day. And I was home working on a song, and she came in the front door. She went, "Man, I just saw the most amazing thing." I said, "Really?" She said, "Oh, yeah." She said, I guarantee you, this was so cool, so amazing. There's just a story in this. I just have to write this. And I said, "Well, wait a minute. Before you do that, it's probably a song, don't you think?" You know. She put me in the car, and we drove over, and we looked at this house, and there was this old fella sitting on the front porch who he looked like he was halfway to heaven already. But there was about 5 little kids on this trampoline, and they were just bouncing like crazy, just having the time of their life. And that old guy on the porch, every once in a while, he would just bust out smiling and laughing. And it really was a kind of a beautiful picture of somebody just reaching out and grabbing some joy in life, you know. And so I told my wife, I said, "That's definitely a song. It's your idea, though, so if you want to write it," because my wife is a writer. She said, "Let me write it with you. I've never written a song before." I said, "Well, that'd be fun. Okay, let's do that." So we went home and sat down and started working. And we worked the rest of the afternoon. And while Pam cooked dinner, I sat in the kitchen with her, and we kept throwing ideas back and forth. And we wrote this song. And I'm glad to say that John Anderson recorded it. So if you want a country singer to record your song, it doesn't get any countryer than John Anderson, you know. And if you don't know John Anderson, you remember the song Swingin'? That was John Anderson. It was a big hit. So anyway, I'll do you my version. It's not as good as John's, but I'm all you got, so. This is called Jump On It. Granny's on the front porch, spitting in a cup, trying to fix a nightgown that the dog tore up. Old time mama's old clothesline finally bit the dust. Brother got a broomstick and propped you back up. Could have had a dryer or a sewing machine, but Daddy went and bought us a trampoline. And we jump on it every chance we get. Mama and Daddy and all us kids. We ain't got much, but we got this, and we jump on it. Brother does backflips with his eyes bugged out. Daddy says a backflip is what it's all about. The whole town's talking. They say it looks like some white trash circus has hit the neighborhood. We don't know what in the world they mean. Mama says they're jealous of our trampoline. And we jump on it every chance we get. Mama and Daddy such a crazy mess. You gotta jump on your chances for some happiness. We all see what daddy means way up there on that trampoline, and we jump on it every chance we get. Mama and daddy and all us kids, we ain't got much, but we sure got this, and we jump on it every chance we get. Mama and daddy and all us kids, we ain't got much, but we sure got this, and we jump on it. Ain't got much, but we sure got this, and we jump on it. We ain't got much, but we sure got this, and we jump on it. We jump, 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 jump on it. Change guitars here real quick. A friend of mine built this guitar and just gave it to me. Wow, that's how I said too. His name's Sam Skinner, and he builds beautiful guitars, and I really love this, and it has inspired different songs. Whenever I sit down with this guitar, it's like I write some kind of different kind of song on it. One December night, so cold and damp, saw him standing at the top of the exit ramp with his bottle of Windex and a filthy rag and his dirty old rain-soaked duffel bag. Drove up to the light, looking straight ahead, hoping for green instead of red. I could feel him staring through my rolled up glass, but I caught a break and rolled on past. I couldn't help thinking what that must be like as I laid down his clean starched sheets that night. Well, he might have been a banker or an architect, some sweet girl's husband for his life got wrecked, a singer or a soldier or somebody's priest, or just one of those Jesus called the least of these. Or he could have been me in a different life, sleeping on clean starch sheets at night, taking for granted his nice warm bed, food on the table, a job that's stable, and a roof over his head. Going to church on Sunday, singing all those songs, and stopping for lunch on the way back home, and never dreaming that anything could ever change, ever. A week or two later, I passed his spot. The only soul there was a traffic cop. He blew on his whistle and waved me through as the city kept churning and the car horns blew. But as I drove on down that boulevard, I got to thinking how life can deal the cards. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we all just need a friend who'll stop and do what's right on a cold and damp December night. Someone who knows what grace is like, sleeping on clean starch sheets at night. Ooh, sleeping on clean starch sheets at night. Well, I'm one of the few singer-songwriters that always leaves the stage injured. It's just a very strange thing. Well, singing those old songs that I played that were kind of from the 70s era is interesting for me. As you can tell, I stumbled over a few of them because I don't play that many of them. I don't play them that often. And it's not that I don't appreciate them or that they still don't have some meaning in my life, but I'm always looking down the road, you know, and I want to do something new. I want to do something fresh. And I think that's what Jesus has called us to do. We need to be out there amongst them, sharing our faith and serving people. You know, it seems like some days in church circles, it just seems like a fruitless deal where the only thing you hear anyone talking about is politics or, you know, who they disapprove of. You know, I could never stand in unity with that guy. You know, man, I don't think we're called to that kind of stuff. Not that we're not called to address issues that we see going on around us. We are. But our first calling is to follow Christ with hearts that are humble and with a love for service for people who need us. I mean, Jesus was out healing the sick and feeding the hungry. He told us to do the same things. So we need to be about that. And I love the good old days, just like everyone else. I can think of a lot of times back 70s and 80s when I was first starting to make some music that they were really great times. But I'm interested in moving ahead. And this is kind of an interesting song. When I wrote this song, I really had no idea what it was going to be about. It's just the first line of this song just popped into my head for some reason. And I just started following it, and this song came out. This is called Whose Good Old Days. Raise a glass to the good old days, simpler times in simpler ways, when we were old enough to have our fun, not too old to die young. Life is such a mystery, we can long for going back, but we can't rewrite our history. We can only face the facts. Back in 1964 in my little Georgia town, before Aretha sang Respect, when Dr. King was still around, we were all about guitars and girls and that Liverpool sound, growing out our hair, man, we were blissfully unaware. Everyone looked just like me in my school. We drank from any fountain that we wanted to. We sat at Woolworth's counter on the front seat of the bus. No one aimed a fire hose at any of us. Up the road from our house and across the railroad tracks, there were streets I'd never seen, a whole nother world in fact. They had their own school and their own church, a little graveyard out back, where they laid their souls to rest, just like everybody else. The summer came, they didn't swim in our pool or walk down streets their mamas told them not to, or even act like they were listening when those redneck boys rode through, screaming hateful stuff from their pickup trucks like no decent folks would do. Whose good old days do you want to go back to? Whose good old days do you miss? never return to. You just remember it all for what it is. And then you ask yourself this: whose good old days do you miss? Whose good old days do you miss? There's things we can't go back and change. The scars remain. You'd think by now we'd have found some way to heal. But there's always some fool who never walks in someone's shoes or tries to understand how someone else feels. So whose good old days do you want to go back to? Whose good old days do you miss? Some things you leave behind and never return to. Just remember it all for what it is. Then you ask yourself this: whose good old days do you miss? I thought we were way past this. Whose good old days do you miss? Whose good old days do you miss? Whose good old days do you miss? Tell me, whose good old days do you miss? People have two questions for songwriters. And they're always the same two questions. It's kind of odd to me how that works, but it's true. Someone always comes up after a concert and asks me, which comes first, the music or the lyrics? I never really thought about it until people started asking me. But my answer is that one kind of works with the other. I don't think of it in terms of a song, of, a lyric coming first, an idea, a big idea. And it's kind of rare that happens. Sometimes the guitar chord just makes me think of a certain lyric. Just a feeling in that chord, It's funny. The other question they ask is, where do you get your ideas for your songs? I can tell you some songs. A lot of them I have no idea. And this one came really just kind of out of the blue, and it kind of shocked me. It's like the first couple of lines of this song just kind of popped out of my mouth. I was sitting there just kind of banging on my guitar, and these first two lines just popped out, and I thought, geez, what a weird thing to say. What does that mean? I thought, man, I'm going to get in trouble for this song. But actually, my favorites. If Jesus was like me, he'd seem like an all-right guy, till the first time he healed someone or turned some water into wine. Then he'd talk too much and act way too proud. They'd say, there goes that Jesus again, running off his mouth. How sad would that be if Jesus was like me? If Jesus was like me, he'd be all merciful and meek, till the first time you made like Judas and kissed him on the cheek. Then he'd act all hurt, point out all your sins. And when you ask would he forgive you, he'd say, well, that all depends. Well, how hopeless would we all be if Jesus was like me? If Jesus was like me, he'd mean well, but he might not follow through when you needed him to. If Jesus was like me, love might be the one thing he tried but couldn't do. If Jesus was like me, he'd be your closest friend, till the first time you nailed him to a cross for all your sins. Then he'd pull the shades, take your number off his phone, let you pound all night on heaven's gate while he pretends he isn't home. How lost would we all be without one prayer or hope or anything? Imagine where you'd be if Jesus was like me. You might as well just get up off your knees. If Jesus was like me. Well, I know I'm about to wear you out, so I'm going to close with one more song. This song is a song that I wrote a long, long, long time ago. But I think of all the songs I've written, more people have recorded it because there's something down inside of it that just kind of touches people. And it touches me when I sing it. They say that heaven's pretty, this whole world is too. But if they said that I would have to choose between the two, I'd go home. Going home, where I belong. Sometimes when I'm dreaming, it comes as no surprise that if you look, you'll see that homesick feeling in my eyes. I'm headed home, going home, where I belong. While I'm here, I'll serve him gladly, sing him all these songs. I'm here, but not for long. When I'm feeling lonely, when I'm feeling blue, it's such a joy to know that I am only passing through. I'm headed home, going home, where I belong. While I'm here, I'll serve him gladly, sing him all these songs. I'm here, not for long. One day I'll be sleeping when death knocks on my door, and I'll awake to find that I'm not homesick anymore, 'cause I'll be home. I'll be home, where I belong. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Rick,
Yes. Thank you, Pat.
anything you want to say?
It's awesome tonight. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Pat will be in the Welcome Center if you want to check out some of his music. Please drive safely. Have a wonderful week. God bless you.